Hi everyone, welcome to Secrets by Manage Engine PAM. This is where we sit, discuss, chat, rant about the identity security realm in the hopes of exploring the secrets hidden within it. And we're happy to have you here.
Good morning, folks. In today's episode of Secrets Podcast, we have Ram, who leads the Manage Engine Plan platform. And we also have Sujatha, who is the head of AI security at Manage Engine. So, welcome, folks.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you for having me in
morning.
the session. Good morning.
So, Sujatha, the first question is for you. Explain to me, like I'm five, the basic concepts of AI. I'm asking this because there's been a lot of confusions lately on the terminologies we use in the AI land, be it machine learning or be it deep learning, be it Gen AI, LLMs, and all the way back to the basic concepts of AI like Turing test and all of that. So, in less than 2 minutes, could you explain the very basic concepts of AI?
Sure. So we'll try to draw parallels from how a child learns from a very young age and compare that with how a model is being trained. So if you look at it, when a kid is young, it learns by examples. And typically parents, so let's take a scenario here. Parents would show photos or real life examples of cats and dogs and teach the child that this is a cat, this is a dog. And they would teach it by giving them examples of how cat has ears that are structured this way, dog that has a fur coat. So these are the features that we talk about in machine learning. And over a period of time, they leave it to the child to understand subtle differences in cats and dogs. And in fact, going further, the child learns to differentiate between different breeds of dogs. In fact, this is a golden retriever because it has a lot of fur. This is a Labrador because it's built really well. So these are not, the features are not given as input to the child. It kind of starts understanding the feature differences by learning from a lot of examples. So we can compare this to neural networks where it learns with a lot of examples. Again, during the course of learning, there are going to be mistakes in prediction. A child might incorrectly say that this is a Labrador when it was actually a Husky or a Golden Retriever. So this is similar to the mistakes that in the model predictions where we go correct the model predictions, it learns again and then rectifies the mistake. And then as the child grows, it picks up language skills. It learns how to speak, how to concatenate words, how to form sentences and initiate speech. So we can compare this to generative AI capabilities like LLM, where it's tuned to generate text, generate audio, generate speech and whatnot. So all the sentences that a kid talks is not exactly taught by parents. It kind of absorbs everything that happens around it. It learns to say hi, hello, I am good. So it understands that after the word am comes in. So it learns all these uh, uh, subtle parts of speech. So we can compare this to the natural language processing capabilities. And then it understands how to churn out speech there. So this is precisely the generative AI capabilities that we are talking about today. And talking about agents in general, so agents are where the agents understand the context and then take decisions accordingly. So let's say the mother of a child assigns it a task saying, organize all your toys properly. So the toys go in the toy rack, the books go in the bookshelf. So there's a lot of context here. The cleaning is the context. The kind of object that has to be placed in the appropriate place is the context, and the decision has to be taken accordingly. So this can be similar to the way agents function. So the agents understand the context and know what exactly to do next.
Thanks for your response, Sujata. Now, I have a question for you both, Ram and Sujata. So, you both have been in this industry for at least a decade, right? You as an engineering manager, and you as someone who's doing AI research, who's been doing AI research for over a decade. So, what particular or what recent AI breakthroughs have taken you by surprise? What do you think is the most technologically cutting edge AI breakthrough in the recent times?
Perfect. So I think talking about AI, AI has been here for quite some time. In fact, if we look at the history, last decade was about rapid digitization. And coupled with the fact that there is so much compute power that's available today, it's insane. So compared to 5 years back, we are getting roughly 10x compute for the same amount of money that we are spending. And so there's enough data available, enough compute available, perfect place for AI to sit in. It thrives on compute and data. So this has kind of fueled the rapid explosion in the AI research part. And talking about how AI is kind of perplexing me today, the sheer capability of generative AI LLMs to kind of churn out code, text, image, audio, and whatnot with by just giving very verbal, descriptive prompts. It kind of baffles me because the disruption has come to creation this time. So what probably took a few months to kind of materialize, it's happening in a matter of few hours or minutes. So this sheer capability of AI is kind of baffling me. In fact, I'm very interested towards it.
Yeah. So, as rightly said, Sujatha, it's increase the productivity of every
Sure.
developer, be it a IT admin or a developer. It automatically generate code. It gives a boilerplate code which increase more productive for the developer to ship the code faster. Or if it a IT technician, it automatically assign the tickets to specific skill sets once you model it.
True.
So these are the various enhancements available in AI, which dramatically increase the productivity for each and every person in the department, in each and every department in the organizations.
Thank you, Sujatha and Ram again. So the next question is, from the basics of AI, whatever we have discussed now, how is AI, being perceived by enterprises today? What is the application of or implementation of AI at an enterprise scale use case in today's scenario? In particular, how is AI being perceived in the most serious business functions like IT? Could you help us with the response for that?
Sure. AI has been here for quite some time. I think it was just a name change that happened over the years. So it started off with big data, then Hadoop, ML was the wave then. Then came neural networks, deep learning, and now is the era of generative AI. So AI is not a new concept per se. It's been here for decades. It's just that there was a name change here. So maybe Ram, you can tell us how AI has been here in enterprises, and you could walk us through that.
Yeah, definitely, Sujata. So it is, AI is a big impact in the enterprise, like be it ITSM or UVM or identity security. So it solves various use cases. Like, for example, let us take ITSM. It automatically predict the tickets and assigns the agent based on the skills. It also helps the agents with having the chatbot and for knowledge base itself. And in UEMS, it automatically generate the anti-malware and ransomware policies. And if you come to identity security, it automatically generate the privileges, and agentic AI also used for onboarding, offboarding use cases as well. And experts are predicting that AI will replace the UI itself. So you can ask anything. Maybe if you ask for a list of filtered tickets which is high, it will automatically generate a ticket list, and it will also generate a graph as well. So there are a lot of use cases where it will give more productivity to IT team.
True.
And maybe the IT team size will going to be less going forward.
Perfect.
So how do you see the perspective of this B2C and B2B segment in terms of this AI?
Yeah, so the B2C segment generally has the first adaptation happening. Typically because data availability kind of offsets the compute cost that comes with AI. So, but shift that to the enterprise landscape where you are governed by very strict privacy and security guidelines. Data availability by itself is scarce. And coupled with that, and there is a lot of focus on privacy. So, in the enterprise setup, there's always a late mover advantage. Also, in the enterprise setup, it's not about how big your model is. There's a lot of context. You need really high accuracy. So let's take an example of a recommendation algorithm that's there in a social network. Person A, person B, person C are are part of the social network. and A and B know each other, B and C know each other, and now the social network decides to recommend person A as a friend to person C. In reality, A and C might not even know each other, but just because the recommendation comes up, it's not going to be of huge impact. They might just ignore and go off. But that's not the case in enterprise landscape.
Exactly.
So if the AI system is predicting outage and it says there's a 90% chance an outage is going to happen, it has to be really accurate because it's a business decision that is
Exactly.
resting on AI's prediction. And it's not about how big your model is. Talking about accuracy, you only need smaller models that understand the context really well and do one thing really good. So, for example, a sentiment analysis model that is sitting in a USM solution is going to be different when compared to a sentiment analysis model that's sitting in the email software because the
Understood.
context is different, the vocabulary is different.
Exactly.
So, you need narrow models that understand the context and do one thing really good.
Yeah, that's yeah. I completely understand, Sujatha.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks again, Ram. So now that we have discussed about AI's relevance in the enterprise landscape, I would like to go a little more specific on its application in the landscape of cybersecurity, right? So, in your opinion, what is the recent, in the last 5 or 10 years, what is the major breakthrough that AI has made in the cybersecurity space, and why do you think so?
Perfect. So, talking about the cybersecurity domain, that's been traditionally a domain which was ruled by rule-based systems and static thresholds. And with static thresholds, it's kind of difficult to catch those edge cases and take a proactive stand. So, today AI is helping you replace those static thresholds with dynamic ones that are adaptive. The thresholds are tailor-made for each data that is seeing. So let's take an example. Let's say there's an internal file download server in an organization. And there's a policy that says that not more than 1,000 file downloads are permissible in a day. But usually there are only some 300 downloads that happen. And let's say there's an insider attack. So insider attack is where there's a bad actor within an organization who's trying to create ruckus out there. And they are trying to do a data exfiltration attack. Being an insider, they'll be very much aware that if there's like more than 1,000 downloads, even 1,001 downloads will kind of send an alert to the administrator and there would be scrutiny. So they'll try to be just close to 1,000 but not touch 1,000 because it was a static system. And typically the everyday download is around 300. So even if there were like 750 downloads in a day, the earlier static threshold based systems, they would not have caught this attack. But when you bring AI here for like algorithms like anomaly detection, they can understand that the baseline normal is only 300. And let's say that all of a sudden there's a surge to 600 or 700. The algorithm, the model there understands that there's a high deviation from the baseline normal, and it immediately raises an alert to the administrator saying, hey, there is some suspicious activity here. It's a good idea to have a keen watch on this. So this way you're able to take a proactive stand and counter insider attacks very effectively.
Yeah. So to add what Sujatha said, it's say for example, I would like to explain a bit use case about the ransomware. So while applying the least privilege policy, so for example, if any insider mistakenly click any link and download the ransomware exe which is running in a particular production server, the AI model will automatically detect that some unusual behavior is happening in the server and detect the exe ransomware exe and apply the least privilege policy across all production servers, and it immediately stopped the running the ransomware exe. Even if any IT administrator logging into any other production server, it is not possible for them to execute the ransomware exe. This way, AI will help in the cybersecurity space for this IT team as well.
True. So at the end of the day, it's about how effectively we are mitigating the attacks and taking a proactive stand. So I think this helps us do that.
Thanks again, Ram and Sujatha. The next question is about the penetration of AI-based, advancements in the enterprise space. With all the buzz around AI and the policy making with respect to AI-based implementations, do you think enterprises are really interested in AI that they want to implement it right away, or are they looking at some sort of regulation in place before they could, for sure adopt AI in their daily business workflows?
Yeah. So enterprise are very much interested in implementing AI across their functions, like be it a SOC or NOC or this IT systems, IT organizations. So because they get productivity as well in this in terms of security. So attackers are getting more skills by having this AI for their part. So if we need to mitigate those attacks, enterprise also want to implement AI in all their security operations. That's very much they are interested in that. So when I meet prospects and customers across in user conferences and in various conferences, they are very much interested in implementing, and they are keep asking us whether is there any AI features available in all our products.
Great. So I think today a lot of upskilling has happened to attackers predominantly because of AI, like how much AI is available to enterprises for defense mechanisms. It's also being used by attackers for the offense. So it's only important you kind of set a thief to catch a thief. So you employ AI to kind of defend the attacks. So one thing that I see enterprises want is that they want explainable AI today, especially in security field where you always have to be 100% accurate, and you also have to be 100% aware and secure. The black boxing is kind of not helping. So a prediction can't just be made. It also has to come with certain set of explanations. I can't say that there's a 95% probability that there's an insider attack and just get away with it. The model has to also explain as to why it feels that this activity is kind of leaning towards insider threat, because this decision is a business decision that's resting on AI's prediction. So this explainable AI is what I think would help enterprises adopt AI faster in their security domain.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question. When it comes to identity security, now this question is for you. What are the some potential areas where AI can make a huge impact with respect to identity security? Do you have any real life use cases that you can share with us?
Yeah. So there are a lot of use cases where we can use AI in identity security, be it like applications, be it authentications, or be it IGA or least privilege in PAM or PKI. Say, for example, you can use AI in user onboarding or assigning apps to the user. Say, for example, if the user is onboarded in the sales team, AI can automatically detect the sales related apps, CRM or mail or sales related apps, and it automatically assign, and it also detects based on the role which is onboarded in the organization. It also assign the privileges like read only privilege or read write privilege or full manage privilege. So these are the possible use cases, and there are also like AI can useful in providing the adaptive authentications, various authentications, multi-factor authentication, 2FA authentication. Maybe you can throw some light on how this AI will applicable in this
Sure.
giving the adaptive authentication.
Yeah, definitely. I think Ram gave us very good insights on that. Talking about AI in the authentication landscape, especially in the where you're configuring second level of authentication, AI can help you achieve adaptive multi-factor authentication. So today, the TFA is kind of pre-configured. So you have the first level of sign-in, and then you have a TFA that's probably pre-configured to sending an SMS OTP or verifying a push notification on your authenticator app. So all of these are like pre-configured. But AI can help you build a risk profile around the process and help you achieve adaptive multi-factor authentication by kind of tuning itself according to the risk score. So let's say the UEMS system kind of says that the machine is at risk because there's a possible malware infestation. Ideally, you wouldn't want to be sending your TFA as an OTP to the email. It's better to do a Face ID verification through a smartphone. So these are ways in which AI can help achieve adaptive multi-factor authentication. And in fact, talking about Face ID, it's important AI models are also resilient to a lot of AI-based attacks like deepfakes, so that you achieve a very secure, robust authentication system.
Okay, the question about identity security here is, with the recent advances that we have just discussed about AI and cybersecurity, and in particular identity space, we see a lot of buzz and some talks about agentic models. So let's first try and understand what an agentic AI means. And from there, let's try and understand how agentic models can make life easier for administrators and how to protect these models as well as part of your identity security strategy. So over to you, Sujatha.
Perfect. So agents are the latest buzzword. So there's so much tall claim that they have a 10x productivity and whatnot. So let's simplify the term agentic AI. So here, the agents here, they are again an AI model. They contextually understand and play an active role in decision making. So let's simplify this with an example. So let's say there's an AI, there's an outage prediction. There's a 60% chance of outage prediction. The workflow is going to be different when compared to if there's a chance of 80% outage. If there's only a 60% chance of outage, you'll just want to inform the higher level engineering managers, go back, debug the root cause, and try to ensure the incident doesn't there's no big outage. But if there's a chance of 95% outage, the workflow is different. You might want to alert your CXO's suite of executives and tell them that, hey, there could be a possible outage. So it's good to be prepared. Get your social media team ready to announce if there's any outage. So here we see there's a decision making involved based on how things kind of develop. So this is where agents can help. They understand the business context. See, the entire flow of 60% versus 80% difference is also going to be factored in according to each business. Each business will have their own set of rules and predefined policies to be followed. So agents here can help, can understand the entire scenario and do the decision making accordingly by understanding a lot of context. Over to Ram so he can help us with the use cases where it could be applied.
Yeah, so in terms of identity security, agentic AI will have a lot of importance. Like you can, so already in identity security, there are a lot of workflow automations, task automations, orchestrations for various use cases such as user onboarding or offboarding and least privilege policy apply and governance. So those are all already available, but the decision making, as you rightly said, so the agentic AI will be part of the decision making. So that say for example, if an user is onboarded, once it is onboarded in the HRMS system, it will automatically say for example, the user is in a sales team, it will automatically apply to the list of sales applications to be associated. But agentic AI will just check the identity verification whether the user is allowed to work in these organizations based on various activities. It will just decide whether this application to be assigned or not. Those are the capabilities, the decision making capabilities come in place when during this automations. This way, this agentic AI will enhance the productivity so that the IT administrator can do other priority jobs than this mundane works.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, so interesting points, Ram. So now that you've told that agentic models will make the life of an admin easier by automating some mundane tasks so that the admins can focus on something better. This means these AI agents will also have some form of identities associated with them, right, to perform these tasks. So how do you think these identities are categorized as, and how should organizations protect these identities from, exposing the models to threat actors?
Yeah, definitely. See, actually, say for example, these are the agents. Like, so those agents has to have some tokens in order to access the files, data, to make decisions. So this also comes under identity as a non-human identity. So this every other identity for comes like authorization, governance, access privileges. These identities will also comes under all these capabilities. Like, so we need to take care of the access control, we need to take care of the privileges like read privilege or write privilege. So we should not give every other privilege to every other agent tokens, so that there may be attack using these agents as well. So this will comes under non-human identities, and experts and analysts are already predicted there are non-human identities will be like more compared to the human identities.
True.
So we should also take care of these non-human identities as well.
Thank you, Sujatha and Ram, for wonderful insights on all things artificial intelligence. Just some closing questions here. What is Manage Engine's stance on AI research? What are you guys currently working on? And how do you plan on integrating AI-based capabilities into the identity suite of Manage Engine? And is there any particular use case that you would want to share with us?
Sure. So, Manage Engine, since its inception, has always put privacy first, and this has naturally translated into the making of AI models. So, when an AI model is developed in-house, privacy is always put first. And I'm part of the team that's a central R&D team focusing on long-term AI research. So, we always put privacy first when we develop models. So we develop the AI capabilities centrally, offer them as microservices, which is offered to the products. And then the products there add the much needed domain knowledge to the necessary contextualization, which then culminates into tangible outcomes that are features rolled out in the product. And talking about the security domain in our roadmap, we do have fine-tuning LLMs for the cybersecurity domain, because there's a lot of context. The vocabulary is kind of different, and there's a very sensitive, high sensitive information is out there. So it becomes even more important for us to fine-tune our own LLM. So the idea is to have, say, we have an raw event data of a certain scenario. The goal is to summarize what happened in a session using AI, give you much needed insights, in fact, provide a colloquial interface so that you can ask questions, colloquially query the data out there. So, in fact, I think Ram can help us how it perfectly fits into the product. Please give us some insights on that.
Yes, as Sujatha mentioned, so we are using the Zia tool, Zia's microservice, to summarize the content. Say, for example, in the privilege access management solution, so whenever the IT administrator take a SSH session in the sensitive server, so we record everything in the SSH session, and we have a content of full session for 30 minutes. So we will just pass this content to the Zia service, and it automatically summarize based on your fine-tuned model. It will also make a risk score, and it will also detect the problematic commands or high sensitive commands executed in particular time. Say, for example, the rm-rf is executed, or the sudo files is opened and saved in a different configuration. Those are the things it will be very much useful for the auditor. Say, the auditor can directly say that, list the problematic or high risk sessions executed by a user John for the last 30 days. This will give immediate results from the FAM solutions with the help of the AI model which you generated.
Perfect.
So this is one of the case which we are using in the PAM solution. And in addition to that, in cloud entitlement management, so we are applying a least privilege policy for any entitlement based on the model you have generated. It automatically generates, it reads the audit trials, what are all the list of permissions used by the entitlement, by the identity, the user identity for the last 30 days, and it generates a least privilege policy. And we can also apply in a single click to the cloud service providers. These are all possible using the models you have generated specifically for the security domain.
Great insights.
Okay, that was a long and detailed, elaborate, insights on AI and cybersecurity, especially with respect to identity security. So the closing question here is, how should organizations approach AI when it comes to their identity implementation? Do you have any suggestions for your customers and enterprises alike?
Perfect. So what I would say is that if you're planning to explore solutions vendors in the AI in identity governance space, it's important to choose solutions or vendors who don't go by hype cycles, who understand the tech behind it. Basically, choose a vendor who has invested enough time doing deep technological work, who are there to play the long-term game, so that you make the best use of technology. You don't go by the hype cycles, and you actually use AI where it is quintessential, and you don't really spend more on compute for tasks that might not even require that much compute. Maybe Ram can give us thoughts on the product side.
So yeah, on the product side, your use cases better.
True.
So customer has to evaluate the use cases, AI use cases which are fit into their organization, and check whether it's integrate with all other applications, all other services they have. So it is better for them to decide and evaluate how many use cases, how it is fit for their organizations. If everything is working fine, then they can go for that.
Great.
Thank you.